Hello friends, neighbors, John Ewing's neighbor here. Welcome down the Nook. It's Saturday, so we're going to shoot a review and I've got some fine scotch here. If you have anything from Campbeltown, I'm going to talk about Springbank 10, a classic, and then their heavily peated Longrow. So, it would be nice if you had a little lightly peated or heavily peated, or if you've got a bit of Springbank kicking around when you pour something, and when you get back, I'll talk through these now a little bit hard to find, but certainly excellent scotch.
3, 4.
Thanks for coming back. I think I gave it away in the opener that I like Springbank. We'll start our conversation with Springbank 10. Springbank is a place that is producing scotch in a way that Scotch drinkers like to have it. This is, of course, I said non-chill filtered, natural color. Given an age stamp, this is 10 years old and released at 46%. But the distillery themselves also has some really traditional approaches. I believe I've heard that their stills are direct fired. I heard that they use worm tub condensing, which often gives a thicker, oilier malt. I even heard that they still do their own maltings on site. So that's just incredible. I also know that this in casking, although that information, well, maybe it is on the back, I don't think is on the back. It's mostly ex-bourbon, and then there's some ex-sherry casking in here. But there's lots of better sites that'll give you deeper insight into Springbank. Suffice it to say, they're doing a lot of things from a quality and a little bit of an old style perspective. On the nose, Springbank 10. This is a sweet and full nose. It's got some fruits like lighter, like cut apple and orchard stuff, but it's got some richer fruits. Maybe that's the ex-sherry talking, so a little bit of red fruits, not quite as juicy as plum, but somewhere in that plum prune a little bit. Not thick. It's not a sherry bomb by any means, but it's got some thicker red fruits running around mixed in. It's an inviting nose. It's got some sugars. Maybe an edge of smoke already on the nose. I don't know. It is lightly peated. They do put a little bit of peated malt in here. But maybe a bit of sourness, little bit of lemon, some vanilla. Not very spicy. It's more full, delicious, mouth is watering kind of nose. It pulls you in. On the palate, Sancha. This Springbank 10 is a delicious dram. That fruit and richness rolls around, but the barley, I've got a malt characteristic just running around in there. For me, the spices aren't terribly complex. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of... No, it's not. I was gonna say cinnamon, but that would say it's hot. It's not hot. It really coats well. It's more a little bit of savory spice. I'm gonna stay with ginger. Better have another sip. It's so good. There's a little bit of oiliness, slight coal or something. There's something. Maybe it's the peat, maybe it's the way that casks are aged, I'm not sure, with a light edge of char. Early finish actually brings some drying, some nice, it's not apricot, that's the wrong fruit, but again, there's a bit of a leathered fruit on the end of it, some char, some oak, and it just is fully present. Springbank 10 used to be easy to find. It's not anymore, and that's a crime. I actually found this bottle a few months back hiding behind another bottle in my yet to shoot or yet to open pile, and I was very thankful. I've had Springbank over the years and always enjoy them. This used to be reasonably affordable. Now, if you can find it, it's also possibly a little expensive depending on your market. So that's tough for me because I like to be a value person. That said, don't be put off by the 10-year on this. This tastes, the whole experience is much stronger than an entrance 10-year-old. This is a solid, like, I would say for most distilleries, it's right up in their 15-year-old type. Like it's got some of those older leathering, it's got some of that older presence that you'd expect from something a bit older than a 10-year-old. And it's got lots of richness and flavor. They've balanced the ex-sherry and the ex-bourbon just right. It's a solid Scotch. Now it does have a little bit of peat, and so if you really don't like peat at all, you don't like a little bit of that earthiness, a little bit of that smolder. I talked, there's even a bit of char in there, or oil or coal or something. Then maybe don't try it. But it is a great Scotch. It's easy 4.25 for me. So after speaking so highly, let's see what the non-age stamp Longrow is. You know what? Same distillery, so all of that quality going in here, natural color, non-chill filter. However, this one is a non-age stamp, and I believe the regular entrance like this is just ex-bourbon. They have many that have ages to them and finishes in red wine. They do a lot of red wine or ex-sherry, those kind of finishes, and those are some phenomenal whiskeys. This in my market is actually affordable. It's quite a bit less than the 10 if you can find the 10. And it is fully peated. So I don't actually know what the parts per million is. Sorry, I should look that up. But when I say fully peated, I mean we are exactly in the Laphroaig, Ardbeg, kind of country. Like this is a peated malt. So let's try Longrow, nose and palate. It is missing quite a bit of the fruit nature that you're going to get off the 10. With that, a little less richness. It is sweet, and a lemon comes forward more as the fruit that I'm getting. And that sweetness could almost take me to toffee right away. So I would say sweet. There is smoky and almost salty brine already coming up in the nose. Just not as layered. Still nice. Lots of lemon, lots of like light smoke, little brine, little bit of earthiness already coming up. But not as much fruit depth maybe. All right, let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. Yeah, it's a full peated Scotch. Like now, yep, I got some of that fruit right up the front, but now, the palate really does have a lot of descriptions for what I would say is earthy and campfire peat. So yeah, I got some of the smolder and I said some brine and whatnot, but it pushes pretty quick into a little drier, a little driftwood, a little more kind of the coal in here, but like really a lot, almost tar. I don't get medicinal. I don't get Band-Aid, at least not up front. You say those things and now I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe I get a little bit of that, but it's not iodine up front. It's a little more cold, dry ash mixed in with sweet lemon curd or sweet lemon tart pie, something like that. Better try one more sip. What I wanted there from that sip was to like just get my palate clean and talk finish. Finish here is smoke and ash, a little more tar, a little burnt wood, maybe some sugars, some caramelized, some caramel. Yeah, there's a little bit of really cooked caramel way down there. It's interesting to me. I'm going to have to give this like 3.5, 3.75 maybe, which is a fair drop in the way I rate Scotches from Springbank 10. And I can really get behind full peat. I'm not in a full peat year. I don't know why. But for me, in my market, I'm going to reach for some other classic full peats. The Ardbeg 10, even the Laphroaig 10, I know that's a bit more Band-Aid for some, but like those give me a little more richness than this, which is surprising because this has that non-chill filter, natural color, little better percentage, 46. This is a good Scotch. but it's missing something for me, and I'm not sure what that is. Contrast at the Springbank 10, I just almost can't recommend it enough. If you see this bottle around, unless you just really hate peat, but it's not peated. It is, but I don't know. Stop qualifying. This is a solid Scotch. This is a good Scotch. And if you like full peat and you haven't had it, I'd reach for it. It's affordable in my market. You're going to enjoy it. It just might not become a favorite, or maybe it is. Palates are always different. Thanks for joining me down here this Saturday. I hope your week wrapped up well and you got a couple of days to get your life back in order or do some chores and maybe catch a good dram. You guys take care.